Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the first review of series number 9. Series number 9 is premium pouches. So as you just saw, it will be of the classic Skoal Bandits, the wintergreen version, which according to Wikipedia was released in 1983. According to Skoal, their website, they're claiming 84, which is the same year that the long cut varieties were released. So I'm not quite sure. Normally I would side with the company website, but it just doesn't seem quite right to me. Anyway, so let's take a look at the packaging. That is a metal lid with a boxed raised rim. The background color is silver. It is a Kelly green, like a metallic forest green around the edge going past the S and the L, and the slightly raised half circle is in red. It's a pretty good looking can, I think. I like the banding on these. Okay, that is the manufacturer's information right off the bat. This is a product of the U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company of Nashville, Tennessee. There is a number down there at the bottom, which I can't quite make out. The website is skoal.com. Barcode, Skoal branding, fact that it's pouches and they're bandits, and the flavor wintergreen with the scrunched U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company warning label. Up here is basically just general information. It is 100% American tobacco. Underage sale is prohibited. Sale only allowed in the United States. You know, the usual. Now this is the part I like. That works for me, that branding right there. And then we're back around to the manufacturer's information. Now this is in a guaranteed fresh stamped U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company can, and the sell by date is January 20th 2019. So we're getting towards the end. Not overly worried about that, because I am expecting a dry product. Now, this was one of Skoal's first, well, it was the first pouch, period, anywhere. But it was one of Skoal's first big pushes to try to win over smokers. Could be different reasons for that. They could be trying to just win them over as they were claiming in, work non-smoking situations. However, a lot of places in 1983, 84, you were still allowed to smoke in. So, I mean, I was technically there. I was very little, but I remember. But that is why there's 20. There's 20 pouches here. Okay? And I'm thinking they're going to be dry. From what I remember seeing them before, they were dry-ish. They would have been trying to cut down on spitting. This would have been their first effort to cut down on spitting. And, it might have been to win over smokers and or break into metropolitan markets. So this would have been the first big push by them, but there have been others since. That would be the reasoning for the latest entries, the Skoal Snus, which are basically the direct predecessors of Skoal Dry, if anybody remembers that last decade. So I'm going to crack this, okay? I have decided to go with 2 pouches for these pouch reviews, partly because there's not going to be much spitting on my part anyway, but I do want to get a full flavor experience, and also I have noticed that is what other people do. In particular, Bergs from Bergs Dip Reviews does it. So if he does it, it's good enough for me. So I'm going to crack into this now. It's a nice papery band. And yeah, it is as I thought it would be. There's a pretty strong, fresh wintergreen smell coming off of it, but for the most part, besides the bags seeming like they're stained, they very, very slightly damp. Very, very slightly. I have to touch my fingers to my lips to even tell. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. Now that is comparable, for those that know, with the smaller version of the Camel Snus. That is very comparable. It's coming back to me now. So they're very small. I'm going to put 2 in. 1 on each side. Now, there is, if you go to my playlists, there is a old Bandits commercial from when they first came out. It's in the playlist labeled Commercials of Old. Okay? Unfortunately, the commercial does not give a date on it, but that would have settled any argument between 83 and 84. So, I may actually hit the pause here and let this sit, because I don't see this as dry as these are, and I think they're intended to be. It's not because the can's towards the end of its date. I think these things were fully intended to be on the dry side. There is a little bit of a tingle, but I think I'm going to have to wait for the flavor to develop. Okay, so I'm going to hit pause and I'll be back in a minute. And I am back. Okay, so the marketing behind this was they were this size because they were discreet. That was a big part of the original marketing. They're discreet, you know. Plus, being that small, they have 22 a can, which is also, just by chance, the amount of cigarettes to an American pack. So, they are discreet. And they do have nicotine. I'm getting a sting. I actually right now have one right here and one right here. I moved the one over here up top just to see, you know, how discreet. Now, I don't know if you are, you know, you're probably not so familiar with me that you know my, you know, outline of my face, but you can't really tell I even have anything there. That said, and this might sort of go for all pouches now, but definitely these, definitely the Skoal Bandits, and that's probably why you don't see them anymore. They've sort of run out of point. There's not really a reason for them anymore. With the advent of snus, why not just get a can of snus, and that way you don't have to spit the 1, 2, or 3 times while you have these in. You know what I mean? Like, before snus was out, yeah, people in an office, non-smoking, yeah, they made a lot of sense. Probably not going to need to spit too much. I definitely don't. I've spit a couple times. I was sort of forcing myself to do it just to see what it looked like. But there's really no, what I just spit out there, I definitely didn't want to swallow, okay? There is a brown tinge to it, but I think, including the two times that I forced myself to, I think I've only spit maybe 4 times total. And 2 of them I didn't have to. So, like, yeah, they're real discreet. I mean, they're real discreet. And the nicotine is definitely there. I was getting, on both sides down low, a tingle on the gum line and the lip or cheek. And I'm still getting a sting going up here. All right. The wintergreen may play into it a little bit, but the pouches themselves are quality. They do have a moisture level, but they're not like wet. Okay, so I don't expect a wet, large pouch. They probably are about half the size of a regular pouch. In fact, I got numbers on it. Now, somewhat oddly, U.S. Smokeless does not put the net weight of these cans. But let's say it's the same as the regular Skoal pouches. The regular Skoal pouches are 0.82 ounces. That is 23.25 grams. Divided by 20, it breaks it down to 1.16 grams per pouch. I'm almost tempted to call these things portions. So, the nicotine's definitely there. The product tastes all right, but it's not going to be real strong. This is not a newer type pouch. You know, it's a sort of a tea bag, old school pouch material. And they're real small. I mean, they're real small. I put the one up top just to see if I get any more juicing. So you're not going to expect a lot of juicing, but I don't think Skoal intended there to be a lot. The plan was to try to cut down on spitting. But now, with snus, you don't even have to spit at all. So, what's the point of the product that has nicotine, is discreet, but you still have to spit like 2 or 3 times? You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. From a old schooly historic perspective, pretty cool. But a product that has sort of run its course and is no longer, you know, really needed, you know, especially with the entry of General into like full blown into the U.S. market. They have wintergreen, so even the flavor isn't really something, you know. Anyway, that's just my take. I think it's a cool looking package. I like the side branding. It's a quality product. It's comfortable. It is discreet. Flavor's all right. Takes a little while to get going. Nicotine's definitely there. It's not a mess, obviously. But you still got to spit. Probably not a lot, but you will. And if you were in a cubicle in an office trying to stay as low key as possible, then why not just eliminate spitting the 2 or 3 times, which is you're going to need a bottle that's going to be somewhere, you know, where you're going to need something to spit into. Why not just eliminate that and go with General's Wintergreen Snus? I'm posing that sort of hypothetically because that's probably what 98% of the people would do. To eliminate the 4 times you have to do that. You know, so it's just one of those things. I like it, and at one time there was a definite reason for this, but that time has passed now. That said, I wouldn't like, they're sort of, in my mind, part of American tobacco history. So if you get a chance, try them out. Maybe some sales will keep them around. Besides that, you know, especially now, you know, Skoal even has snus now. So it's like, well, you know, but they do not have wintergreen. That is a point, and their snus is a lot bigger. Anyway, I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. This has been the Skoal Bandits review. Has run a little bit longer. The next one will be shorter. I won't have to go into the historical aspect as much. I'd like to say hello and thank you to Top Gun Swag. Thank you, sir. Guys, do take care of yourselves. I'll be back tomorrow night with the Mint Bandits. Do take care, and as always, God bless.